In this video, I want to share with you the biggest lessons I learned from Dr. Joe Dipenza about generating abundance, generating wealth in your life. And one of my favorite meditations that he has is actually called Generating Abundance. And every time I use it, and I've been using it so many times over the years, always something cool's happened, right? But beyond that, it's about the core teaching behind generating, manifesting, creating higher level of wealth, abundance, richness, prosperity in your life, whatever that means for you. And so every time I use that, every time I'm in this state of generating, notice just the word generating abundance. It's not about begging or chasing or hard working for abundance. It's about how can I become a generator, a magnet, a creator to abundance, to opportunity, to situations in my life where I can have those situations. And so there's always cool things that happen in my life whenever I'm in this state of generating abundance. And for example, just this condo where I live right now is one of the most random and luckiest thing you could say that happened to me recently, because I was just walking downstairs, right? And I saw a listing where there is usually no listing. And it's the first and only time where I saw a listing about condos in that place. And I saw it and I stopped and I looked. And I was like, why not take a look? And so I called the number, I checked, I made an appointment, I went to look, and it didn't let me in this condo, but the agent had a few other listings in the same condo. And so we went to look at different condos, and none of the rooms were nice. I mean, it was spacious and so on, but it was old. It wasn't it kind of thing, right? And then his manager came and she was like, hey, I have one more unit and so on, but I can only show you the photo because the landlord is not here right now, right? And so she shows me the photo and I'm like, wow, this is actually a very nice unit from the photos, right? And I'm like, yeah, it looks like a very nice unit. And then she's like, okay, let me call the landlord. Maybe she can come, maybe she's not far or something, right? And so anyway, I'm looking at that unit, the guy is showing me, and the manager comes back and says, hey, you're lucky, she can be here in 10 minutes. So if you're happy to wait, she can show you the room. And so here we go, 10 minutes later, the nice lady come in and she opened and she's very warm and so on. And the room is amazing. But not only that, because it met all the criteria I had in mind: a home office, big, spacious, quiet, morning sun, nice balcony, all these things. And on top of that, it is below the market price and fitting even cheaper than what I thought I had to pay for a place like this. So it happens so spontaneously, so naturally, so effortlessly that it blew my mind. And even when I think about it now, it's just like so many coincidences that were lined up without me knowing how is it even possible. So you see, this is what happens when you generate abundance. The experience finds you in the most crazy way. And this happens in my life a lot, to the point where this is starting to become normal. But I also realize that when I'm not in that state, when I let worry or doubt or other conditions or other kind of thoughts in my mind, when I try to force things to happen too much, I know that I'm no longer generating abundance. I'm generating something else. I'm generating through the lens of scarcity, through the lens of lack, through the lens of doubt. And so I'm creating different type of experiences, or things takes longer, or it takes more work, or these type of things. So when I reflect in what I learned from Dr. Joe Dipenza, from those meditation, and over the years how it has affected and transformed me, my identity, right? I want to start with just the name again, because the name is generating abundance. And I want you to really emphasize that in your mind. Generating abundance instead of chasing, hard working, hustling, sweat and tears, whatever paradigm or hustle mentality I know I was taught. If you want money, work hard. Nothing comes easy. And if it comes easy, be careful. That's what I was taught for so freaking long. My dad still tells me that crap. So you have to choose what you choose to believe. Yeah. If you start to believe I can generate abundance, what a nice concept, what an idea, what a perception, what a belief that radically change your energy. Now, in the first sentence of the meditation, there's something very powerful, something that always puts me into that generating spot. Sit up straight, like an abundant being, worthy to receive. And I'm like, man, how powerful is that? Sit up straight, like an abundant being, worthy to receive. And I tell you, every time I hear that, every time I tell myself that, boom, there's a shift. And this is when you get in that state. And I try to bring energy here because you have to understand that it's all about the state. You generate energy through the state you live in. It doesn't matter if you generating anger or pittiness or self-pity or abundance and all of the greatest things and miracles, right? You choose to state you live in. So you see how this meditation is emphasizing that you are an abundant being worthy of receiving. And this is one of the biggest lessons. You have to know, you have to choose, you have to decide that you are worthy of the abundance, the experience, the things that you want to create. Whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, whether it's new clothes, whether it's whatever it is that you're chasing, whatever rich, abundant wealth means for you. One of the biggest pitfalls is when you feel you're not worthy, you're not good enough, unless, because this is where the mind gets tricky, unless you work hard, unless you put the effort, unless you put the work, unless you had the failure, unless you earn it, or somehow in your mind reach that place where you feel like that's it. I've struggled enough, I've sacrificed enough, I deserve it now. It's crazy. I used to believe that the more I work, then it means I'm worthy. And so I used to remember in my business when I wasn't working or didn't have enough clients or had nothing to do or was taking a freaking day off, how guilty and bad I would feel because I felt like, oh my God, I should be working, I should be hustling, I should be creating content and videos, I should be doing something, right? So I had this anxiety and that guilt for doing nothing. And so you can see there that the strategy I have to feel worthy about myself was through hard work, having clients, having money, having external things to affirm that I am enough. And so on some level, fundamentally, there I know that I'm living in the wrong state. For a big shift in my life was to stop chasing, feeling worthy, feeling good enough about myself. When I started breaking that habit, right? Dr. Joe Dipenza talks about breaking the habit of being yourself. And my old self was somebody who was constantly chasing approval, validation, and feeling enough through people's approval, but also external success, achievements, and so on. And the moment I took my power back, because I noticed that the thing I wanted to create, the abundance I wanted to have, the experience I wanted to have, was because I wanted to feel good about myself, finally arrive in that emotional state. Yeah. And whenever I wasn't, I was feeling unsafe, I was feeling unworthy, I was feeling lacking, I was feeling like I'm gonna lose it all. Yeah. So very vulnerable. So you have to notice that if you have that underlying belief, that underlying identity, you're gonna keep on generating unconsciously those experiences in your life, because again, your state, your predominant attitude, your predominant, self-image or identity, like we talk a lot about on this channel, is the main generating force in your life. So you keep on generating, just enough for you to feel good, and then it feels like something is being pulled out and you're back into that fear mode, you're back chasing again, you're back into that survival mode. Yeah. So generating abundance is to realize that, okay, not only that, but I am worthy of creating the thing that I want. I am worthy because I am. So I have to realize that what I want to create cannot make me happy, cannot make me feel free, cannot fulfill me, cannot give me the essence of what I desire behind it. It's nice, it's great, it's a bonus, there's nothing wrong with it, you should want it, yes, but it doesn't have the power that you've been projected on it. The faster you get that through your ego mind into your core, the faster you start giving yourself what you've been lacking and chasing in your life the most. Yeah? And one of the fastest way to really realize that is to write down what are your 10 top goals that you have right now, or the wealth that you want to create, or the abundance you want to create in your life. Write it down and ask yourself next to it, why do I want this? What would that do for me? How would it make me feel if it's already done, if I already achieve it? How would it make me feel? And write down that word next to each one of those goals, next to each one of those desires. And if you see that one word, that one emotion that keeps coming back, that's the need that you've been chasing the most. So from that emotional lack, let's say you're lacking worthiness, that was my case, right? I was chasing something that made me feel worthy, that made me feel good about myself. So unconsciously, it means that I haven't mastered that quality between myself, between my state of consciousness. So I was projecting that outside of me. So instead of generating abundance, I was generating experiences that reaffirm my unworthiness. Can you get that? It doesn't matter how much you want money. Life doesn't give a shit about what you want. And this is a tough reality that you have to burn through your mind. Life want to give you everything you want, but life simply reflects who you are. And so as long as those states are still between you, as long as you live in those old states, you're going to keep getting the same. So when I stopped chasing those things because I wanted to receive that, but I started to live in a state of worthiness, meaning I work today, I have my clients, I do my things, whatever I do it from this place of, you know what, I'm already worthy. It's like, how can you sit up straight like a worthy being now? What does that mean? How does that feel in your body? From that energy, how do you go to work? How do you work out? How do you live? How do you eat? How do you interact? How do you respond? How do you feel? How do you do everything? Maybe you keep on doing the same thing, but maybe you just show up with a different energy, with a different thought, with a different attitude. Maybe you're just less needy, less chasing, less desperate, less begging, less afraid. Yeah? Or maybe it's more powerful. But the key is to realize that you are worthy of what you want. And if you can embody that, if you can embody that experience without you needing to chase it, without you needing to have that experience already, if you can demonstrate feeling abundant now before the abundance finds you, that's when you know you're generating abundance, because you don't need anything. When you're whole, as Dr. Joe Dipenza say, there is no lack. But when there is lack in your experience or lack in your state of mind, you will be generating lack. So when you're in a state of I'm lacking something to feel happy, worthy, fulfilled, good enough, free, fulfilled, whatever, then I am generating this in the present moment. But when I'm feeling whole, complete, there is no lack in my reality, whether I get it or not, whatever. That's when you know you're generating something. And this is when life can truly surprise you. This is truly when the magic, the miracle, the thing, the synchronicity happen in my life. And in my life, I have so many examples of those moments where just things line up, clients walking out of nowhere and referrals and this and that. It's just like the stars are aligned kind of thing. And the moment I notice that I shift on that for too long periods of time and so on, I notice I'm starting to create the opposite. And so that's how it is. You know, the challenge is not, I'm not gonna get ever in those state of lack and fear, and those are human emotions, they're normal. The only question is, how long are you gonna stay there? And where are you gonna choose to give your attention and your intention, and what you're gonna choose to constantly generate in your life? So I hope this makes sense. I strongly invite you to get that meditation for yourself, Generating Your Abundance by Dr. Joe Dipenza. Try it, experiments, get into that feeling for yourself, because we're all unique. We all want different things. It all means different things for different people. But when you get into that state with that intention of what you want to create, and you feel like an abundant being, worthy of receiving it, if you can sustain that state, live in that state, become very familiar with that state, be ready, because the magic is right around the corner. Let me know what you think down in the comment. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next time. Be well.